Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillahi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Inshallah, in today's talk number 14, we will talk about just the first ayah of Surah Al-Isra, which comes out to be very relevant, fortunately and unfortunately, from the perspective of the incident that's going on right now. As a matter of fact, the news is keep coming up regarding what's going on in Masjid al-Aqsa. So the first ayah, which is regarding Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's miraculous journey from Masjid al-Haram to Masjid al-Aqsa. Allah Azza wa Jal talks about that in Surah Al-Isra, in the beginning of the surah, first ayah. بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم سبحان الذي أسرى بعبده ليلا من المسجد الحرام إلى المسجد الأقصى الذي باركنا حوله لنريه من آياتنا إنه هو السميع البصير. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in this ayat al-Karima, glorified be the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who took his slave Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam for a journey by night from Al-Masjid al-Haram, which is in Mecca, for the farthest mosque, which Masjid al-Aqsa, in Bayt al-Maqdis. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not only talks about this incident, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also talks about the blessings of this specific land and the surrounding of that land, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, الَّذِي بَارَكْنَا حَوْلَهُ لِنُرِيَهُ مِنْ آيَاتِنَا, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed the surrounding of the neighborhoods of that Masjid al-Aqsa. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said, we show Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam our signs. Innahu Sami'ul Basir, indeed he is all hearing and all seeing. This ayah was revealed to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the Meccan era, which was the end of the Meccan era prior to the Hijrah. After Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was going through, actually, he was during the year of the grief, as many of the evidences point towards. Year of the grief is the year when Rasulullah's uncle Abu Talib passed away, and after that, a few days after, Khadija radiallahu anha, the wife of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, also passed away. And it was a painful time for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam from that perspective. One, that losing his uncle, the one who protected him, supported him throughout his life. At the same time, he also did not accept the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So there was a double pain for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then losing his beloved wife Khadija radiallahu anha, the one who supported Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam as well throughout Rasulullah's life. From after he got married, Rasulullah married her, and then until Khadija radiallahu anha passed away, she supported Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in many different ways, emotionally, financially, in every sense a companion can support. And besides that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam lost two of the biggest supports for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The time for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Sahaba was very difficult already. The kuffar of the Makkah were giving Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Sahaba all sorts of difficulties, including material difficulties, meaning they were trying to torture Sahaba, even try to assassinate Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Sahaba, and some of the Sahaba lost their lives as well. And at the same time, the Rasulullah also lost these two big supports of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So it was a difficult time for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at that time gave him a support in when he took Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam for this journey. By the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent Jibreel to take him from Masjid al-Haram to Masjid al-Aqsa in the part of the night in the month of Rajab. And I will not go into the whole detail of the Al-Isra wal-Mi'raj. This is what that miraculous journey is referred as. But I like to just talk about just briefly some of the lessons that we can learn from that, inshallah. But we'll talk just briefly about some of the basic, some of the important incidents. Not to say that the one I'm not covering are not important, but just to briefly talk about that. So in Al-Isra Mi'raj, Rasulullah was taken from Masjid al-Haram to Masjid al-Aqsa in the part of the night, and he was brought back as well to Masjid al-Haram. And it's a very long distance that used to take months to go and come back. And Rasulullah traveled that part of the night. And then when he went to Masjid al-Aqsa, from there, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was ascended to the heavens, where Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam met on the first heaven he met Adam alayhi salam, and then on the second heaven he met Isa alayhi salam and his cousin, maternal cousin Yahya alayhi salam. And then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was ascended to the third heaven, where he met Yusuf alayhi salam. And every heaven that when he was ascended to, the prophets made dua for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam as well over there. And the fourth heaven, Rasulullah met Idris, and in the fifth Harun, and the sixth heaven Musa alayhi salam, and the seventh he met Ibrahim alayhi salam. And then he had the meeting with Allah Azza wa Jal, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala obliged him first with the 50 salah for him and for the Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and which was reduced later on up to 5 salahs, which are equivalent to the 50. And then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was shown signs as well in the Jannah. He was shown the Jannah and the Nar, and how the people are punished, and how the people will be sent to paradise, and places in paradise where the reward they will be getting. So and then another thing that happened there was when he came back from that visit down back to the Masjid al-Aqsa. There, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, not only him coming back, but the other prophets could join him for the prayer. And some of the reports talk about it. There was a Salatul Fajr prayer. Allah knows the best. But the main thing is all the prophets also descended to Masjid al-Aqsa, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he led all the prophets in that prayer. So that shows the significance of this Masjid al-Aqsa that we are talking about. And then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam came back to Masjid al-Haram, and over there he was, of course, commanded by Allah Azza wa Jal to let the people know about this incident. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was, as some of the reports talk about, he was anxious about letting the people know about what happened there. And but of course, it's a command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when he did mention this, as one of the reports talks about, that Abu Jahl was the one who asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that what's new today, and Rasulullah yes, is there anything new? And Rasulullah said yes, and he mentioned about that he was taken from Masjid al-Haram to Masjid al-Aqsa on a buraq, and then he was ascended to the heavens, and then came back from heaven to Masjid al-Aqsa, and then came back to Masjid al-Haram. And upon that, Abu Jahl, of course, he started, he thought it's ridiculous that how can somebody in the part of the night can go and come back such a long distance, especially, don't remember, we were talking about 1400 years ago. And for that, he said, asked Rasulullah if he is willing to say the same thing in front of the people, and Rasulullah affirmed that he would. And then he called up all people, and then he started asking the same question. Rasulullah replied the same way, and then they started ridiculing Rasulullah. They started laughing at him, start clapping, and hitting their heads in a way that they were making fun of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And as Ibn Kathir mentions, that there were people who were believers, and when they heard about Rasulullah was saying things about the visit or journey of Al-Isra al-Mi'raj, they apostated, and their ending was in the Battle of Badr with Abu Jahl. So this became more of a filtration process for the da'wah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When the hardship came, how many of the people would stick with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who would continue to carry the da'wah of Islam? So when it comes to this journey, and to understand that how important this Masjid al-Aqsa is for the Muslims, we should remember a few of the points that, for example, number one, this is the first Qibla of the Muslims. This is the station of Al-Isra wal-Mi'raj, the miraculous journey of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. This is the second house Allah Azza wa Jal, Allah's house that was built on the earth after the Kaaba, Masjid al-Haram, and there are hundreds of messengers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are buried there in that area, in the surrounding of the Masjid al-Aqsa, and place where many companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam as well buried. And this is the place where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shown many, by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, many of the miracles on the hands of the prophets were shown to the mankind. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has referred this masjid many times in the Quran, and this is the place where many of the angels also descended, and this is the place where Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam on the earth, he led all the messengers, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was the imam of all the messengers in this masjid. So it is a blessed masjid. It is the place which is very sacred in Islam, and not only that, that shows that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he led all the prophets, that he was his leadership of all the prophets and for all the humanity. As we are aware of, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was a prophet. He was unique in 5 things, and one of the things that he was unique from the rest of the prophet was that the other prophets were sent to the specific nations, while Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sent to the alimin, to the whole mankind. And besides that, this is the very same journey that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was given the 5 prayers, which is one of the basic pillars of Islam. Now, as I mentioned about this Al-Isra wal-Mi'raj, one thing that happened was there were some of the believers who apostated. They left Islam, and their ending was with their endings were with Abu Jahl in the Battle of Badr. But at the same time, we also see that Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anh, when he found out about this, and he was not aware of that Rasulullah did not tell him yet. When he was told by the disbelievers about this, that Rasulullah is talking about this journey, Abu Bakr's only response was that he only questioned one thing: if Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam had said it, then his response was, by Allah, if he actually said that, he has told the truth, and there really is nothing to be amazed about, for he has told me the information comes to him from Allah, from the sky to the earth in an instant during the night or day, and I believe him. And that is even more strange. So because of this attestation of Rasulullah's journey, or this miraculous journey, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave him the title of As-Siddiq, the truthful, and we in general refer to him Abu Bakr As-Siddiq from there on. Now, also there are many ahadith that talks about the subject of the liberation of Al-Aqsa in the Palestine, and one of the interesting hadith that talks about the people, the people of the Palestine. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Rasulullah said, a group of my nation, this hadith is reported by Tabrani and Imam Ahmad as well, a group of my nation will keep being in the side of right and victorious over its enemy. No party of their enemy can cause them harm. The only harm they may afflict them is physical exhaustion. They would be like so until the day of judgment. The Sahaba, Ridwanullah alayhim, they asked, where would they be, Allah's messenger? And Rasulullah said, in Al-Quds and the surrounding vicinity. So this is something about the blessing of the people who are from that area, and we can see that they continue to be very vigilant, the one who are strong believers, and continue to do whatever it takes to work for the cause to free Palestine. And the relevance of today's event is, I'd like to just remind ourselves that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is testing the ummah in many ways. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was tested before and up to the Isra al-Mi'raj, and after Al-Isra al-Mi'raj we find that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was given the victory, and Rasulullah and the Sahaba were able to migrate to Medina, where they established the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and from there on the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continued to spread. Now, But it took 13 years to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to get to that point. And now today we should think of that Allah is testing the ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the difficult times that we are going through. But when this kind of a munkar that happens, or any kind of a munkar happens, we must remember that there is an obligation on the Muslims, all the Muslims, every individual. There's an obligation that if there is an evil is going on, small or big, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in one of the ahadith, which is reported by Imam Muslim, says, "Man ra'a minkum al-munkara falyughayyirhu biyadihi." Whosoever sees a munkar, an evil, a wrongdoing is going on, then he should stop it with his hand. وَإِن لَمْ يَسْتَطِعْ فَبِلِسَانِهِ. And if he does not have the istita'a, does not have the capability, then with his tongue. وَإِن لَمْ يَسْتَطِعْ فَبِقَلْبِهِ. And if he does not have the capability of even saying things, speaking up against the evil, then he should within his heart to feel bad about this. وَذَلِكَ أَضْعَفُ الْإِيمَانِ. But this is the lowest level of iman, that a person, he just feels bad about wrong actions are happening. Now, when this kind of a munkar is happening in Palestine, as we are getting the news right now about Al-Quds, that masjid has been raided, and the worshippers who were in there, they had been they were shooting at them with the rubber bullets, and they were beating them with the batons, and even with the guns and everything, they were beating them up inside the Masjid al-Aqsa, inside the blessed masjid of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, second house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah's house that was built on the earth. Now we have to understand that what is our responsibility as a Muslim, as the hadith of Rasulullah very clearly says, that if there's an evil going on, and if you have the capability. Of course, this capability part is, we're talking about a state is the one that is being harming the people and brutally injuring and killing those Muslims over there. It's a state against the regular people. For that, there's a state kind of a response is needed, or a state has to respond. Unfortunately, we don't have any state, Muslims, Islamic state that can defend them. And the rulers that we have, this is on their neck, because they have they have the capability of stopping this kind of a munkar, and they will be held accountable in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala what they did to stop this kind of evil. And the others, we have to at least create the awareness among the people what's happening, let the people know about it, and create awareness to bring a political state, for Islamic state, for the Muslims who can defend that, because this is an obligation on the neck of the Muslim. That's the way to respond to these kinds of brutality and cruelty and massacres that are happening, and it has unfortunately become a norm in Masjid Al-Aqsa. Every Ramadan we hear these kind of actions are happening. So we should be letting the people aware of this, and working for the real solution for this kind of a problem. And it's not because of this problem we should be thinking of, we should be working for this kind of a cause. Rather, it is an obligation, whether the issues in Palestine are happening or not. It is an obligation on our neck that the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala must be implemented. And as the other part of the hadith of Dhalika for Iman, if you just feel bad in our hearts, that is the lowest level of Iman. Now, everybody is accountable according to their capability. So if the rulers who have the power, and they are not using the power to stop this kind of oppression, they cannot just do a lip service and at the same time they are making deals behind the door or in front of the doors nowadays. And then they just do the lip service and they say that this is oppression that should not happen. Rather, they have to take a real stance to stop this kind of oppression that is happening. And the others, especially the regular Muslims, they should be creating awareness for establishing the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the one that can really protect the ummah, and not only protecting the ummah, but rather bring the justice for the mankind and show the people really the mercy of Islam the way it's supposed to be. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us one of those that follow the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala intended, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us those who in this month of Ramadan get the best out of it and come out of this from this month of Ramadan having forgiven all our sins. جزاكم الله خيرا. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.